Who's there? Is it Big Hale? Big Hale, is it you? Oh my man. I give it flowers, ready for hours. The pretty bluebird that is fucking stormy. It's stormy right now. Ooh, don't tell me my shit broke. Oh. You can let proceed.
Were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at this check for 160.
No cameras, no trailers, just alleyways, turf lines, and a code you either follow or get dealt with. The same neighborhood training day used when it needed a backdrop that screamed danger, and Lloyd fit right in. Or maybe he forced himself to. He didn't just dress the part, he marked himself for life, tattooed the word jungles in all caps above his left eyebrow. No turning back after that. In the jungle, he wasn't Lloyd from View Park anymore. He was the cat from Boys in the Hood who gunned down Ricky. The streets treated him like one of their own. In return, he soaked it up. He switched up everything. Rocked red, baggy khakis, and chucks. Spoke like the homies. Moved with the local blood set, the Black Pea Stones. This wasn't method acting. This was full-blown identity switch. His friends from the Beverly Hills days were confused. Some were scared. One story goes, Lloyd and a homie at Slauson Swap Meet, a group of real bangers, walk up and press him. You a blood or what? And Lloyd, without flinching, says, yeah, I'm a blood now. His brother Che had already gotten mixed up in gang life, and now Lloyd had followed the same path. Only difference? Lloyd had the name, the face, the notoriety. People already believed he was about that life. Now he was trying to actually live it. But the deeper he went, the messier it got. He started wilding. Not just flexing for street cred, but making reckless moves. Pulling out a strap on Venice Beach during an argument. showing up to casting calls with a pistol on him, threatening people on sets. One time, he allegedly told the director he was going to murk him and his whole family. Not exactly how you get more roles. He wasn't just burning bridges. He was torching them. Got booted from sets, got blackballed. Even people in the street started noticing he wasn't all there. He did random petty crimes, stole bikes and cars just to get to work, slept on couches, got kicked out of apartments. One time, he maced his own roommate's mom in the face, same lady who used to be his talent agent. And just a little while later, he sprayed mace at MTV VJ downtown Julie Brown at a club. No reason, just snapped. A few people close to him thought it was more than gang life. They said Lloyd might have been dealing with bipolar disorder. Others just said he was spiraling. Either way, he was slipping. His Aunt Carol said he was trying. He started going to church again. Put on his Sunday best, showed up at the door, but then he'd just walk around outside, unable to go in. Said it felt like something was pulling him away. He wasn't just playing both sides anymore, he was lost between them. By summer of '99, the tension inside him snapped. July 1st, 1999, just past 4 p.m. Santa Barbara Plaza in Baldwin Village. Two locals, Annette Lewis and Percy Branch, was sitting under a tree, both known in the area. Kicked it around the plaza, nothing unusual. Then Lloyd pulled up. Witnesses say there was an argument. Some say it was over money, others say drugs, but it got heated fast. Lloyd pulled out a .45 and let off. Annette tried to run. He chased her down, shot her in the back 5 times. She collapsed on the spot, gone. Percy Branch, two locals, Annette Lewis and Percy Branch, was sitting under a tree, both known in the area. Kicked it around the plaza, nothing unusual. Then Lloyd pulled up. Witnesses say there was an argument. Some say it was over money, others say drugs, but it got heated fast. Lloyd pulled out a .45 and let off. Annette tried to run. He chased her down, shot her in the back 5 times. She collapsed on the spot, gone. Percy Branch caught rounds to the stomach and thigh, but he made it to the hospital, barely. Lloyd jumped in a car and peeled off. At the time, it didn't make major headlines. That part of LA had seen its fair share of body drops, but this one, it was different. This wasn't a turf hit or random beef. The shooter was a known face, the dude from Boys in the Hood. LAPD started piecing it together. Shell casings were from a .45, same caliber as 2 other unsolved shootings in the same plaza. One from March, another from April, that one outside the Nation of Islam mosque. Both of those cases, witnesses said they saw a black Cadillac. Guess who owned a black Caddy? Lloyd Avery. Now the dots were starting to connect. Still, it wasn't an open and shut case. Percy, before he passed, told police Lloyd wasn't the shooter. Whether he was protecting him or scared, nobody knows. But the streets were talking. Lloyd didn't lay low. He didn't flee the city. He didn't even switch cars. He moved like nothing happened. But the law was coming, just not yet. And the wildest part, right after those murders, Lloyd packed his bag and hit the road. Next stop, a movie set. After the shootings in July 1999, most people would have dipped out, switched coast, or at least laid low. But Lloyd, nah, man booked a movie role. 2 weeks after the Santa Barbara Plaza killings, Lloyd was on the set of Lockdown, a low-budget prison drama being shot at the actual New Mexico State Penitentiary. Yeah, the same prison where the 1980 riot left dozens dead. That's where they were filming. And Lloyd walked in like everything was sweet. He had zero business being there. LAPD was already collecting statements, matching shells, and connected the black caddy to the scene. Meanwhile, Lloyd was in New Mexico, walking around a real prison yard, pretending to be an inmate on camera while allegedly being a killer off it. But his behavior on set told the same story the streets had already seen. Something wasn't right. He got caught smoking a Sherm stick, PCP-laced cigarette, which had him tweaking heavy, spaced out, erratic, unpredictable. Then he flipped out on a makeup artist for no real reason. And the craziest part, he literally wandered off the set and broke into a live section of the actual prison. Real inmates, real security, real risk. Guards almost opened fire thinking he was trying to escape. It was chaos. That was it for New Mexico. He was fired from the film, banned from the set, and reportedly banned from the state. They put him on a bus back to LA. Still, he didn't stop. Late 1999, Lloyd landed another role in a low-budget indie film called Shot, where he played a gangster named G-Ride. This time he had a bigger role, more lines, more screen time. Director Roger Roth later said Avery was actually talented, that he had presence, but he also said Lloyd was dangerous. On multiple occasions during filming, Lloyd threatened to kill Roth and his family. Nobody knew what was real anymore.
Ron Smart IPL. Enjoy 2 years free from hair and hair removal.
In a world obsessed with more, and before we know it, our desire for more turns into more bills, more debt, and less joy for the things that truly matter. Premier keeps it simple, so you can focus on more of what you need. Premier Bank Card, the power of simplicity.
I can't help it if I'm up and see them watching. It's outrageous how this flavor got 'em shook. I feel fabulous.
You look so tired.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Why don't you go lay down in my Scandinavian and take a nap? I promise you, you're gonna feel and look 25 years younger.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh wow. 25 years gone.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, that's slick.
Great. She wants one too.
Nice. American mattress salad.
Where you don't have to go back in time.
You get a great night's sleep.
Or was this dude seriously on edge? Either way, folks on set were uneasy. The walls were closing in, but Lloyd didn't act like it. He wasn't hiding. He kept doing him. But the streets talk, and so do people who get pushed too far. One of those people was Sean Spraker, Lloyd's ex-roommate. After Lloyd maced Sean's mom, Christine Chapman, who used to be Lloyd's talent agent, that bridge burned. Sean had enough. He started working with the cops, told them where Lloyd was staying, what he was driving, how he moved. On the morning of December 8, 1999, LAPD spotted Lloyd behind the wheel near his grandmother's house in Beverly Hills. They tried to pull him over. Lloyd hit the gas, led them on a short chase through the neighborhood, but he couldn't outrun it this time. They caught him. In his car and apartment, police found a .45 caliber handgun. Ballistics tied it to the Santa Barbara Plaza shootings. That was the last piece they needed. Lloyd Avery II, once just an actor playing a gang member, was now officially booked for murder. 2 counts, first degree, no parole on the table. Lloyd's trial came up in late 2000. By then, he'd already been sitting in county jail for almost a year. No flashy lawyers, no big Hollywood support, just him and the consequences. The case wasn't airtight, but it was strong. Ballistics linked his gun to the crime. Witnesses placed him at the scene. And while Percy Branch had originally said Lloyd was...
What are you guys doing? Hello?
And they're just wanting to know when it was paid off? Yeah. Can you give me the loan number and I'll look into ICMP and see if I can find the dates? You're welcome.
Well, y'all weird. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Maybe because I ain't doing this.
The shooter, he passed away weeks later, so he couldn't testify. That left things open-ended, but prosecutors painted a clear narrative. They didn't need to prove motive, just action. Lloyd didn't fight hard. Some said he seemed detached during the trial. Others thought he was just done. He barely spoke in court, offered a weak alibi, and didn't take the stand. The jury came back with guilty verdicts on both murder counts. In December 2000, he was sentenced to life without parole. Just like that, the man who once stood on a film set with Cuba Gooding Jr. was headed to Pelican Bay. Pelican Bay State Prison isn't your average lockup. is California's Supermax, located up in Crescent City near the Oregon border. It's built for lifers, gang shot callers, and folks the state wants buried deep. And Lloyd was headed there. But here's where it flips again. While locked up waiting on his transfer, Lloyd found something most people didn't expect. God. In L.A. County Jail, he started attending services run by Pastor Dennis Clark, a volunteer chaplain. At first, it seemed like just another inmate trying to get some peace. But it got deeper. He carried his Bible everywhere, quoted scripture, talked about redemption, said he wanted to turn his life around. Other inmates started calling him Baby Jesus, some joking, some not. He got baptized, wrote letters home, said he was done with the streets, told the chaplain he wanted to help other inmates find salvation. By March 2001, when he finally got moved to Pelican Bay, he was in full-on Christian mode, preaching to others, avoiding drama, writing to family with hope. In one letter dated August 29, 2005, Lloyd told Pastor Clark about a new challenge. He'd just been assigned a new cellmate. He wrote, "I know God has him around me for a reason. I pray for him every day that he gives his life to God." The new cellmate's name? Kevin Roby. And that name would change everything. Back in 1987, Robbie had been locked up for murdering his own sister, Velmaline Hill. He had raped her, killed her, and then tried to cover it up with some bizarre excuse about ninjas. Cops found her body stuffed in a trash can in his place, covered in dog food. No remorse, no sense. He had also been convicted of sexually assaulting another sister. By the time he got to Pelican Bay, he'd already been inside for over a decade, and he had changed in his own way, not toward redemption, but deeper into something darker. Kevin Robbie called himself the Satanic Christ, spelled it wrong on purpose, said he served Satan and believed in performing rituals to connect with what he saw as dark powers. Other inmates stayed far from him. Even correctional staff flagged him as mentally unstable, diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, history of violence, problem inmate. So why put him in a cell with Lloyd Avery? That question never really got answered. Some say prison admin just didn't do their homework. Others say they knew but didn't care. Either way, it was a deadly mismatch. You had a man trying to walk with God and another trying to fight him. From the jump, Lloyd tried to convert him. He wasn't shy about it, kept talking about the Bible, forgiveness, salvation, told Roby he was praying for him. Roby didn't take it well. He later said Avery kept pushing the Christian agenda on him. They argued, got into verbal fights, sometimes even physical scuffles. Other inmates picked up on it. Some tried to warn Lloyd, told him to chill, said Robbie wasn't stable. Even clergy inside told him to fall back a little. But Lloyd stayed on mission. He believed this was God's test, that he could reach the unreachable. But what Lloyd didn't know is that Roby had already made up his mind. He wasn't listening to Lloyd's sermons. He was planning something. Roby would later tell officials he felt Lloyd was disrespecting him, trying to force something on him. He said the arguments weren't just about religion, but about power, control, identity. And Roby wanted to send a message not just to Lloyd, but to God. He started prepping a ritual, quietly, patiently, kept it all in his head. Then, on the evening of September 4th, 2005, it happened. In their shared cell, Unit D247, an argument broke out over religion again. This time, it went left. Roby snapped, hit Lloyd hard, blunt force trauma to the head. Then he wrapped something around Lloyd's neck and choked him out. Long, slow, no noise outside the cell, just silence. Lloyd struggled, but Roby was built stocky, shorter but powerful. And in that moment, fueled by hate and whatever delusions he held, Roby didn't stop. Lloyd died from asphyxiation. Blood from the head wound filled his lungs. Roby didn't call for help, didn't alert guards. Instead, he dragged Lloyd's body onto the top bunk, covered it, made it look like he was sleeping. Then came the creepy part. Roby managed to keep up the act for almost 2 full days. When guards did cell checks, he tugged the string tied to Lloyd's arm, making it look like his cellmate was moving in his sleep. He ate both meals, wrote a letter to one of Lloyd's pen pals, trying to fake his voice. Maybe part of the plan, maybe just another layer of the ritual. Then came September 6th. That morning, Roby staged the final scene. He drew a pentagram on the cell floor. Some say he scratched it in. Others say he used soap. Either way, he dragged Lloyd's body down and placed it in the center. Then he took Lloyd's blood and painted demonic symbols on the walls, left messages, marks, the kind of stuff straight out of a horror flick. When the guards finally noticed something was wrong, they opened the door to a full-on ritual murder. Lloyd Avery II's body was cold. The scene was disturbing. Kevin Robbie was calm. He later told officials this was a sacrifice, that he had sent Lloyd to the devil as an offering, said it was part of a larger plan, and that God himself was next. It was delusional, deranged, but deadly real. And Lloyd, he never saw it coming. From Beverly Hills High to being sacrificed inside a prison cell, his story wasn't fiction anymore. It was the kind of ending nobody writes, because no one would believe it. When they asked Roby what happened, he said it straight. This was a sacrifice. Said he offered Lloyd up as part of a satanic rite, something he planned carefully. He believed he was sending a message to God, even claimed God was next on his list. This wasn't just a murder. It was calculated, obsessive, and dragged out over 38 hours. Roby faked Avery's presence during 11 different head counts. He manipulated Lloyd's body to move when guards checked the cell, pulled on a string tied to his arm to make him look alive, ate both their meals, wrote a letter pretending to be Lloyd, all while building up to that final ritual. Medical reports showed Lloyd died from blunt force trauma and strangulation, but also had aspirated blood. He essentially drowned from the beating. The way Roby went about it suggested he wanted it to be slow and controlled. Inmates and staff who knew Roby weren't surprised. He'd always talked about rituals, control, and doing something big, but no one thought it would play out like this. For Lloyd's family, it was unthinkable. They already lost him to the streets. Now this, worse, the Del Norte County DA chose not to charge Roby with a second murder. Said he was already doing life without parole. No trial, no sentence, just a line in a report. Roby stayed locked up, and he stayed loud, still talking Satan, still claiming purpose. But for Lloyd, the story was over. His death wasn't just a headline. It was the final act in a life that spun so far off script, you couldn't make it up. Lloyd Avery II died at 36 years old, alone in a cell with the man who saw him as a symbol, not a human. But even in death, his name kept bouncing around. Podcasts, true crime documentaries, viral YouTube recaps. Everyone wanted to piece together how a kid from the Black Beverly Hills ended up sacrificed in prison. Some called it karma, others called it tragedy. But those who knew the real Lloyd, his family, his old friends, said it was just sad. He had the looks, the presence, the connections, but he also had demons. Some say it was mental health, some say it was pride, maybe it was both. What's clear is he chased an image that chased him back. The tough guy, the gangster, the outlaw, and in the end, he wasn't taken out by a rival on the street. He got done in by a disturbed man behind bars. From Beverly Hills to Pelican Bay, from Christmas cards to ritual sacrifice, Lloyd Avery II lived fast, burned out early, and left behind a story nobody could have written better or worse. Sometimes the role you play stops playing you. Rest in peace to the man behind the movie. Appreciate you watching till the end. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more.
Became a thief in GTA 5 RP with the goal being to go from $0 to $100,000. To start, I'll have to do small thefts like robbing players and houses to make enough money to buy the equipment needed for crazy heists like jewelry stores, banks, and even a mega yacht. This is Rags to Riches Thief Edition. Alright, y'all, it is currently day number 1 of going from $0 to $100,000 as a thief. As you guys can see, we got no nice car to start off like I did in the Hitman video with the GTR. $0 to my name. It's not looking good. I got nothing in my inventory besides some armor and my identification. But basically, the plan is for day number 1 is we need to go.
What's up, weird people? I know this ain't real.
January 1993, the Chicago Tribune dropped a bombshell headline, "Killing Our Children." It hit hard, exposing the brutal truth. 57 kids, all 14 or younger, were murdered in Chicago in 1992. Some got caught in gang crossfire, some were victims of abuse, and others just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. But the violence didn't slow down. It got worse. By 1994, things spiraled. The city saw 931 murders, making it one of the bloodiest years in Chicago's history. That's about 30 murders for every 100,000 people, 3 times higher than during Al Capone's gangster era. It was straight up chaos. And in the middle of all that madness, one face stood out, 11-year-old Robert "Yummy" Sandiford. But before his name made headlines nationwide in 1994, Robert "Yummy" Sandiford was just another little boy lost in the chaos of Chicago's rough Roseland neighborhood. Born on March 12, 1983, Yummy got his nickname from his love for cookies. But behind that sweet nickname was a life that was anything but innocent. Yummy's mother, Lorena Sandiford, came from pain and passed it down. She was one of 10 kids, born to 4 different fathers, and never even knew her own mother. Her life spiraled early. She dropped out of school in the 10th grade, had her first child at 15, and eventually gave birth to 8 kids in total. Substance addiction gripped her hard, and she got arrested over 30 times, mostly for prostitution tied to her crack habit. At one point, she tried to build a home with Yummy's father, Robert Akins, but that didn't last long. He had his own history with substances and weapons, and according to her, he had a real temper. But it wasn't like she didn't have her own rage either. The signs of neglect started showing early. In 1984, she ignored medical advice for her son Victor's eye condition, and he ended up blind. Just a year later, 22-month-old Yummy was rushed to the hospital, his little body marked up with scratches and bruises. And then another child, his sister, ended up with 2nd and 3rd degree burns on her genitals. Lorena claimed she fell on a radiator, but a nurse at the ER wasn't buying it. She told the court those injuries looked like someone had held a child down on that heater. By the time child services finally removed the kids from the home, the damage had already been done. Neighbors had been raising red flags, saying the kids were left alone all the time. And when police finally acted, what they found in Yummy was a child full of rage and trauma. Scars ran across his leg, looked like he'd been whipped with an extension cord. There were cigarette burns on his shoulders and backside, yet Lorena insisted she never beat her kids, claimed it was chicken pox, said she did the best she could, but admitted there were distractions. Still, those working in the system weren't convinced, so the kids ended up with their grandmother, Janie Fields. Yummy called her mama. In the tight-knit, working-class black community of Roseland, people still remember the day Miss Janie Fields moved into that 2-story house with her deep-rooted family tree. 10 kids, 30 grandkids, all of them had lived under that roof at some point. The neighborhood was full of homeowners who looked out for one another, especially when it came to raising kids. If someone was slipping, others stepped in. That was just the way it worked. But not everyone was welcoming. Some neighbors whispered complaints about noise and mess, and even tried to push the Fields family out with a petition. It didn't work. Still, people said those Fields kids were different, rougher, louder, and always into something. And at the center of all that noise was one kid everybody had an opinion about, Yummy. Neighbors had two versions of him in their minds. One was the street menace, a short, wild kid riding around on a seatless black bike, rocking big, baggy clothes and expensive.
Welcome to Wells Fargo. My name is Kenyatta on a monitor recorded line. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to? Hi, Ms. Burris. How are you doing today? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Bear with me one moment as I pull up your account. And I see that you've already authenticated yourself in the IVR, and I do appreciate that. How can I provide you exceptional service today? So I do apologize. Okay, so I do apologize about the inconvenience, and I do see that things have been corrected since you have received those bills, so I do apologize about that, but you do owe zero now, and everything is current. Okay, so we are on the monitor the recorded line. Who is that speaking in the background? Ms. Burris. Can you verify that person, please? Yes, ma'am, but if I can hear them, then Wells Fargo can hear them, and that's part of my job, to verify who is talking in the background. Exactly. Pull out my phone.
Sneakers, even though nobody could figure out where the money came from. His hair was thick and uncombed, his face always holding some kind of scowl or smirk. He ran with a small crew, all of them barely hitting double digits in age, stealing, setting fires, selling substances, the whole package. He pulled knives and snatched things right from stores like he owned them. He'd even press people for pocket change. And if he saw fear, he'd come back for more. But there was another side, a side that didn't make the headlines. A side that only showed up in small, quiet moments, like when he crossed the street to buy candy from Miss Lulu, who remembered him saying thank you and excuse me like any polite little boy. Alone, without his crew, he could be surprisingly gentle, loved animals, loved basketball, could fix bikes like a grown man, even built his tandem ride once, just from scraps. People like Ollie down the block swore he was sweet as jelly when he wasn't around the wrong crowd. He was obsessed with cars, not toy cars, real ones. Lincolns, Cadillacs. People joked it looked like a little kid behind the wheel of a grown man's dream. He'd sneak into garages just to watch the mechanics work, soaking up everything from spark plugs to fuel injectors. But just as easily, he'd be seen hurling bricks at car windows or setting them on fire. The sad part, there wasn't much anyone could do. If someone told his grandma she'd fuss, maybe yell, but that was it. The cops couldn't lock him up, too young. They'd just drop him back home, and he'd be right back out the next day like nothing happened. He knew the rules didn't really apply to him. By 8, he'd already dropped out of school. That same year came his first arrest, shoplifting. At 9, he was in court for robbery, though the case fell apart. And by 10, it was like he had a full-time job with the police. One felony after another, his odds of making it past 12 dropped heavy the moment he got tied up with the Black Disciples. This wasn't just some neighborhood crew. The Black Disciples, or BDN, has been a powerhouse on Chicago's South Side since way back in 1960. It all started with David Barksdale, a Mississippi transplant who hit the Chi in '57 and wasted no time building his name in the streets. Within 3 years, Barksdale had built enough clout to form the Devil's Disciples. But he wasn't stopping there. By the end of the 60s, he'd merged multiple street sets into one massive force, officially calling it the Black Disciples Nation. Now Barksdale wasn't the only big dog in town. Larry Hoover, leading the Gangster Disciples, had his own empire growing. In 1969, these two kings decided to come together, creating the Black Gangster Disciple Nation, a straight-up powerhouse alliance that reshaped Chicago's gang landscape. But even before that merger, the Black Disciples were in a brutal war with the Blackstone Rangers. That beef got so deep, it almost cost Barksdale his life. 4 Rangers ambushed him outside a bar, leaving him shot up, but he survived, barely. That shootout in '68 messed him up for years, and in 1974, he died from complications tied to those injuries. After Barksdale passed, the Black Disciples split from the alliance with Hoover's crew and stood back up on their own 10 toes. Jerome Freeman, also known as King Shorty, took the reins and led the BD Nation into the newly formed Folk Nation Alliance in 1978. Things stayed cool between them and Hoover's Gangster Disciples for a while, until the truce shattered in 1991. That's when a full-on war popped off between the two sets, turning Chicago's South Side into a battlefield. That's the world Yummy stepped into, pure chaos. He got recruited right in the middle of this war zone, where kids his age weren't just watching violence, they were part of it. On the far South Side, past 99th Street, they called those war-torn blocks the Wild Hun Nets. Gangs started using shorties like Yummy for hits, setups, robberies, whatever needed to be done but couldn't be traced back to grown men. For Yummy, joining the Black Disciples was about more than just gangbanging. It gave him a sense of family he never had. He couldn't read, barely talked, bounced from house to house, jail to foster care. But when the disciples brought him in, it felt like someone finally saw him. They gave him rank, even if it was the lowest one, and he wore it with pride. He tatted BDN3.
Your car donation directly supports those who served. Through Vehicles for Veterans, your donation provides real help to veterans in need, delivering essential care, resources, and a path to a better future. You'll also support the families of fallen heroes, offering life-changing assistance to those left behind. Make a meaningful impact. Give back to the veterans who gave everything. Visit vehiclesforveterans.org.
Without our work, the world would cease to be.
We're gonna bring this place down.
Almost best deal ever ends this Sunday. Any pizza, any toppings, just $9.99 online. Order now.
Most people are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowners a fortune. I worked in construction for 20 years now, and it shocks me how many people pay a fortune to upgrade their gutters and services like the gutter remodel relief service. As long as you own your home, you can apply for and get approved for an affordable gutter transformation within 2 minutes. You can click the button below and find out almost instantly if you're eligible. I've done this for hundreds of my clients over the years, but still so many people will pay $2,500 for new gutter systems without knowing it. The best part is that there is zero cost to apply for the service. The only downside is not every zip code is covered, but I know there are still spots available, so I would try immediately. You can find out in minutes if you're approved. Click the link below to learn more. There's literally nothing to lose.
The gang wasn't looking out for him. They were using him. They knew the system couldn't touch him the way it did grown men. Juvenile detention was the worst he could get, and even that didn't always stick. Most homes wouldn't take him. Too young, too unstable. So they kept pushing him out into the streets, fully knowing he'd get into deeper and deeper trouble. And every time he did, the cops would just toss him back like a boomerang. Then in '93, things took a rough turn for Yummy and his siblings. They got pulled out of their grandma's house and ended up at the Lawrence Hall DCFS shelter over on Chicago's north side, a spot meant for troubled teens just like him. But Yummy wasn't the type to sit still. While staying there, he got into a fight with a teacher, then dipped out in February. By April, the police had him again, this time riding in a stolen whip. That move landed him in juvenile detention. Then came July 14th. Yummy stood in front of a judge and pled guilty to violating his probation. One of the DCFS caseworkers told the court straight up, Yummy needed to stay in juvie or some emergency spot until they could ship him out of state. But the waiting list for that kind of placement, long as hell, could take months. Judge Thomas Sumner wasn't trying to keep Yummy locked up with older boys, though. And since there wasn't anywhere local that could properly deal with his situation, the judge made a call, sent Yummy right back to his grandma's place. This went against what a previous judge had already said, that DCFS should never place him there again. But with no better options, that's exactly where he went. Didn't take long for the streets to feel his presence again. Yummy got back to his old ways like he never left. One of the local teens, 17-year-old Eli Roberts, had his window smashed in on his white Oldsmobile 88. Eli wasn't letting that slide. He found Yummy's dirt bike, picked it up, and tossed it straight into the street. But Yummy wasn't done. A few days later, he came back for that Olds. Found a gas can in the back seat, poured it all over the inside and lit it on fire. The car went up in flames. Then, just like he always did, Yummy vanished, took off running, and didn't show his face around the block for almost a week. By August 15th, he was back in cuffs, this time for breaking into a school with a group of other kids. And just 2 weeks after that, on August 28th, he pulled the trigger, fired the shots that would change everything. And by then, it was already too late. It was a Sunday morning, August 28th, 1994, around 10:30, when Yummy stepped out of his house on West 107th Place in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood. Told people he was heading to the gas station over on 111th and State, a little over half a mile walk. But this wasn't just about grabbing snacks or killing time. That gas station was a hustle spot for local kids, where they pumped gas for tips until the adults ran them off. That day wasn't just another run to the store. Yummy's gang, the Black Disciples, had given him a task. This was his moment to prove himself. Being just 11 years old, he was perfect for the job. Small, easily overlooked, and not likely to draw too much heat. By 6 p.m., he walked up on a group of boys, hanging out near South Perry Avenue and 108th Street. He spotted 16-year-old Keonta Britton and asked that familiar gang question, where you from, who you with? Keonta told him he wasn't in any gang. That didn't matter. Yummy pulled out a 9mm pistol and started firing. One bullet caught Keonta in the stomach. Another hit his spine. After letting off the shots, Yummy dipped quick. Officer William Callahan was first on the scene. He found Britton still alive, bleeding out. Asked who did it. Britton didn't hesitate. He said it was Yummy. Gave up his name and everything. Said he saw his face clear as day. As detectives rushed to ID the shooter, thinking they'd have a little time to catch up, chaos broke out again. Another shooting, just a block away. 14-year-old Shavon Dean had just walked her best friend, Chi-Chi, home and was headed back. She was feeling good about life, excited for her first year at Corliss High School. She passed a group of neighborhood ed kids playing football at 108th and Wentworth. It was around 8:30 p.m. The sun was setting, then came the shots. Yummy showed up again, same pistol in hand, and started spraying bullets at the crowd. One round hit a van, another smashed through someone's living room window. Sammy Sig, just 16, had just caught a football pass when the shots rang out. He hit the ground fast, but still caught a bullet through his leg and hand. He remembered the moment like a blur, trying not to die. But not everyone made it out. A stray bullet struck Shavon Dean in the head, killing her instantly. The real pain, Shavon and Yummy lived just around the corner from each other. They weren't close, but they knew each other. Her life was taken by someone from her own block, a kid she once saw singing in the church choir. Yummy hadn't meant to kill her. He was aiming for rivals, trying to prove himself to the gang. But that didn't matter now. Shavon was gone. Her future wiped out in seconds. As Yummy fled the scene, people noticed the shirt he had on. It said, "Boss," across the front, bold and loud, like the moves he just made. Meanwhile, back at the crime scene, Shavon's mother was being held back by her brother, trying to keep her from seeing the condition her baby girl was left in. The same woman who used to take Yummy to church couldn't believe the boy she once helped raise had turned into the one who tore her world apart. By the time midnight hit, early hours of August 29th, Chicago police were already deep in a manhunt for Yummy. They had FBI agents in town too, working on gang-related drug cases, and now everybody was focused on tracking down this 11-year-old boy. Detective Cornelius Spencer later told the court that between 20 to 30 officers were out searching. When they didn't find Yummy at home, they started pulling up at every known address tied to his family. Tips were flying in. People said he might have been seen in places like Riverdale, Harvey, or Dixmoor. Still, no sign of him. Yummy was gone. And Sergeant Ronald Palmer made a real point when he said the boy might not even realize how serious the situation was. Palmer even believed Yummy might have been acting under orders from someone higher up in the gang. And word on the street was this might have been part of a gang initiation. By Tuesday, just 2 days after the shooting, police weren't just looking in the city anymore. They were searching outside Chicago. Commander Earl Nevels talked about how much manpower they had on the case. It didn't make sense how a sixth grader could dodge all these officers unless someone was helping him. And that's what they believed. Yummy wasn't alone. Tactical units, gang officers, detectives, even the FBI Fugitive Task Force, everybody was out hunting. They checked in Milwaukee too, almost 2 hours away because Yummy had people up there. Cops even started bringing up his name during roll calls at every single precinct in the city. That's how serious this was. Since Yummy was the youngest member in the Black Disciples ranks, police started going door to door at every known BD hangout. One spot they hit multiple times was 118 West 108 Place. But each time they showed up, he was gone. The gang was clearly one step ahead, moving Yummy like a chess piece, bouncing him from house to house, sometimes even stashing him in abandoned buildings. Meanwhile, the streets were crawling with police and reporters. All that heat started making the gang nervous. Yummy wasn't just hiding anymore, he was being hunted. That's when the whole thing flipped. The same kid who'd been used as a weapon was now seen as a liability. Earlier that week, Yummy's grandma, Janie Fields, started getting strange phone calls. 3 in total. Each time, the person just hung up without saying anything. Figuring it could be Yummy trying to reach her, she went out and got a caller ID box.
Hart's True Coat Dog Shampoo has 3 unique formulas to bring out the best in any fur type, like Winston's short, shining coat, Rosie's tangle-free curls, or Leek's soft, thick fur. We got you, and you, oh, and you too. Hart's True Coat Dog Shampoo. Make your dog's fur feel fabulous.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max together for $16.99 a month. I'm gonna find people who murdered my wife. So, you and her out. This is the way.
Done.
Early afternoon, the phone rang. This time it was him. Yummy was calling from a payphone. The first thing he asked was why the police were looking for him. Janie, trying to protect him, told him to stay put and that she'd come get him. But before she could say much else, the line went dead. Janie didn't waste a second. She grabbed the clean clothes she had packed and rushed out to 95th Street, just like Yummy said. She'd been driving around for days trying to find him herself. She knew if she didn't get to him first, the streets would. There was already talk about a hit being put out on him. She waited at the spot for hours, all the way till 10 p.m., but Yummy never showed. Around 7 p.m. that night, Craig Hardaway, just 16, and his little brother Derek, 14, pulled up to Shanta McGlone's house. Craig was dating her at the time. Both brothers were locked into a Black Disciples set, already deep in their street life. Later that night, around 9 p.m., Craig's pager starts going off. First beat, he hands it to Shanta and tells her to call the number. She does, asks for someone named Kenny, but dude ain't there. Craig passes her another number. This time, she gets through and lets the person know Craig's on his way. By 10:30 p.m., Shanta and her cousin got both Hardaway brothers in the car and drove them over to a spot they called Emma's house on 118 West 108 Place. That's where things started shifting. Meanwhile, over at 105th and Ed Brook, 14-year-old Mike Griffin, another Black Disciples member, sees Yummy sitting alone on the porch of an abandoned house. They get to talking. Yummy's tired, says he just wants to go home. Mike tries to help, tries calling a cab from a friend's house nearby, but nothing works. So they start walking to Hamicia Cooper's crib over on 10,609 South Edgewood. They post up on the porch, and that's when Jamisha's mom, Cassandra Cooper, steps in. She talks to Yummy, tries to talk some sense into him, tells him he should turn himself in and go to his grandma's. Yummy listens and gives Cassandra his grandma's number. She walks down the street and calls Fields and tells him to come pick the boy up. That was around 11:30 p.m. But when Cassandra walks back, Yummy's already gone. Back at 118 West 108, Craig meets up with Kenny. They go up to a second floor porch, and that's where Kenny drops the plan. Yummy gotta go. Word was, the kid knew too much. He'd been around real hitters, saw too much, heard too much. If the police got him, he could fold under pressure and take the whole crew down. Kenny hands Craig a silver-plated .25 caliber handgun and the keys to a light-colored Oldsmobile Delta 88. The plan? Tell Yummy they're taking him out of town. Make it sound like a safe escape. Back on the block, while Yummy and Griffin are still on Cooper's porch, that same light-colored Olds cruises down Edbrook. Griffin spots Craig driving, Derek in the passenger seat. They loop back around and park near that same house where Griffin had tried calling a taxi earlier. Craig tells Derek to go get Yummy. Derek hops out, walks straight up to the porch, and tells Yummy he's about to skip town and needs him to come along. Yummy, not thinking much, jumps off the porch with Griffin and follows. They all walk to Indiana Avenue where Craig's parked. Griffin asks for a ride home, but Derek tells him they're into something too deep already. Griffin backs off. He watches Derek and Yummy disappear down the alley, headed toward that waiting car. By now it's close to 11:45 p.m. Yummy gets in the back seat and lays face down, just like he's told. That same light-colored Olds cruises down Edbrook. Griffin spots Craig driving, Derek in the passenger seat. They loop back around and park near that same house where Griffin had tried calling a taxi earlier. Craig tells Derek to go get Yummy. Derek hops out, walks straight up to the porch, and tells Yummy he's about to skip town and needs him to come along. Yummy, not thinking much, jumps off the porch with Griffin and follows. They all walk to Indiana Avenue where Craig's parked. Griffin asks for a ride home, but Derek tells him they're into something too deep already. Griffin backs off. He watches Derek and Yummy disappear down the alley, headed toward that waiting car. By now it's close to 11:45 p.m. Yummy gets in the back seat and lays face down, just like he's told. They roll out to a viaduct at 108 and Dauphin, about 9 blocks away from Cooper's house. Craig pulls Derek aside, gives him instructions. Get the car running, lights off, car in neutral, passenger door open. Yummy walks into that dark tunnel, gang graffiti covering every wall. No begging, no crying, just silence. He turns toward the wall, drops to his knees. It's like he already knew this was it. Craig raises that .25 caliber and fires. The bullets tear through the back of his head, brain matter hitting the dirt and broken glass beneath him. At 12:30 a.m., police find him, just lying there. Glass, blood, his little body lifeless. By 2:20 a.m. on September 1st, 1994, Robert Yummy Sandiford was officially pronounced dead. About 400 people showed up to say goodbye to Yummy. The funeral went down at the youth center of the Church of God in Christ, up on Chicago's northwest side. Yummy's small body was laid out in a baggy tan suit with a white handkerchief over his heart and stuffed animals tucked around his shoulders. Kids leaned in close, trying to catch a glimpse of the stitches the mortician left behind. Exit wounds still fresh on his young face. The picture on his funeral program, a mugshot. Out of all the photos they could have used, that's the one they could find. The preacher didn't sugarcoat it either. He told the kids in the room to take a good look and make a choice. Don't end up like this. Some parents brought their children, hoping the kid would do what love, school, or the streets couldn't. Lynn Janetta brought her 9-year-old son, Ron. She didn't hide her reasoning. She wanted to scare him straight. She pushed him close to the coffin. Ron tried to keep it together, but later he said Yummy didn't look like he was sleeping. He looked gone. And when his mama nudged him forward, he felt like he was about to fall into the casket.
Rico Suave!
But a lot of people in the neighborhood weren't exactly mourning. 13-year-old Morris Anderson, who used to scrap with Yummy, said it plain, nobody liked that boy and nobody was going to miss him. His mother sat in her living room the day after the funeral, trying to make sense of it all. In the corner was a white bucket with a frog Yummy caught weeks before. She said he loved fishing. She knew what people thought, that he was a monster. But she remembered a kid who was sweet to her, who called her Green instead of Mom. Still, even she admitted he blamed her for his pain. But she truly believed he could have been saved if they had gotten him real help when he started stealing cars. The two Hardaway brothers, Derek and Craig, ended up getting convicted for Yummy's murder. But the case took a crazy turn. Derek's confession got tossed out by a federal judge in 2001. For a second, it looked like he might catch a break. But nah, the next year, a federal appeals court brought the conviction right back. In the end, Derek got 45 years and Craig got 60. While Craig was locked up in Danville, he started getting into mentoring programs, talking about wanting to live on his own one day. Then out of nowhere, he had a heart attack and ended up in the hospital. He pulled through, and by December 2020, he finally walked out a free man. Derek had already gotten out earlier, in 2016. So is Yummy a victim or a villain?
I know
That's the
that do
question.
sound
He
good.
was
Some
just
good
11,
food.
but his actions left bodies behind.
And some good
Was he too
smoke
young
with
to
the
understand
rain.
what he'd become, or did the system fail him before he even had a chance to choose? His story goes beyond him. It's about all the kids like Yummy, ignored, broken, forgotten. It's about schools that couldn't
I
catch him,
know, I wish I had
systems
somebody.
that didn't care, and streets that embraced him too early. Yummy should have been running on a
It's
playground,
hard
not
out here
from
for
the
a
police.
pimp.
Should have been figuring out
When you
life,
trying to
not
get the money
living
for the rent.
Robert
When I
Yummy
get
Sanders
them baby gas
became a
money
cautionary
spent.
tale. But
And
his
a
name
whole
should
lot of
stand for
bitches
more.
jumping shit.
It should spark change, remind us to catch these kids before the streets do, and prove that behind every nickname is a life that mattered. What are your thoughts on this story? Appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more.
Happy anniversary.
I'm looking good today. I ain't even did nothing. I ain't got on no clothes. What is going on?
I didn't do anything nice.
And capacity for violence far closer to home than anyone could have expected. On June 7th, 2017, after 11 p.m., Katie made this call to the Thornton, Colorado Police Department.
Yeah, I needed to speak to somebody about my kids that are missing.
You have multiple children missing?
My son and my boyfriend's daughter
Okay,
are still lost, and they haven't come out almost midnight, and I've gone driving around looking for them. I can't find them anywhere. Today they left here around 7.
Do they normally go for this?
So what the
She has
boy
Pokemon. She has like a big deck of like these Pokemon cards, and I had thrown like all of them for some reason, like out the wall and stuff, and it messed them all up.
She was upset when it first happened, but after that she wasn't upset at all. She said as long as she got so many cards.
Aiden said he didn't have any money to replace the cards, but hatched a plan to go to the nearest Walgreens and steal some. Kaya, he said, wanted to come with. This likely came as no surprise. Kaya was an avid Pokemon card collector and showed off her cards in this YouTube video, which she made just 6
I
weeks
don't think we
before her
cooking today.
disappearance.
I cooked some neck bones and cabbage greens yesterday. Some smoked neck bones and cabbage greens. I cooked that yesterday. I don't know, I think I'm eating nuggets tonight.
Hopefully, I will be
Or
getting
you need
more.
to take down some food though.
Many
For
thanks
tomorrow.
for this video. Make sure to stay tuned for my whole many videos. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Back with Aiden, they asked him for more details about his excursion, hoping that even a
What you cooking tonight? I'm actually on the clock, but I'm bullshitting. Like, I'm trying to find something different. Cause they talking about if we don't have 80% by August 1st, then we're gonna receive some disciplinary action and all this shit. But I'm gonna eat some nuggets. I'm gonna eat some nuggets. Oh, I'm gonna eat some nuggets. Daughter moving out this week. One pot chicken and rice and some mixed veggies. Oh, I want some. Send me some. start raining? Yep, it stopped raining. Give me something. I want something. Give me some.
Security footage
Give me
retrieved
some,
from
give me
Walgreens
some, give me
supported this
some.
part of the story, as it showed Aiden entering the store just before 7:15 p.m. Unfortunately for Aiden, his plan to steal the Pokemon cards was quickly thwarted. They were now behind glass as an anti-theft measure. So he revised the plan and loaded up his jacket with candy. He and Kaya exited the store less than 10 minutes later. Aiden said they planned to go to another Walgreens nearby to try again. However, that idea quickly changed.
Originally, we were first just gonna walk straight down the street and just keep going all the way there. But she said she wanted water, so we went home and got the backpack and got a big jug of water and a cup.
How come you didn't take the backpack the first time with water since it was hot?
We just didn't think about it.
Aiden said that he and Kaya were only at the house for about 5 minutes, just long enough to load up the backpack with water and give some of the stolen candy to Aiden's brother. Then Aiden said they headed out again, destined for the second Walgreens. This, police knew, had to be when something went wrong. Using a map for reference, Aiden drew out the route he said he and Kaya took.
You stayed on this side?
Yeah, on that one, because it was the darkest side of the town.
Okay, and why did you use the darkest side?
Because we didn't want to get in trouble.
Why would you get in trouble?
I don't know, to be honest. Because I've gotten in trouble with like truancy stuff and being out too late and stuff like that before.
Aiden said he noticed that the clouds overhead looked like rain while he and Kaya were walking. Not wanting to get wet, Aiden decided to seek shelter under some branches. He said Kaya had other ideas of what they should be doing.
And she was saying, like, if it doesn't rain within, like, 5 or 6 minutes, I say we get up and start walking home quick so that we have a chance to get home before it rains. And then I was thinking it was going to rain a lot, so I was, like, wanting to sit there and hopefully wait it out.
Were you upset with her when she was wanting to go home and instead of trying to wait out the rain?
No. I just thought, I just thought we should maybe wait a little bit longer because I just really thought it was going to start pouring and we were just going to get drenched.
After this, his story started to make less sense.
So when you saw that it was going to rain, why didn't you just go into the cargo? You would have stayed dry in there, right?
I honestly don't know.
It got even stranger because Aiden said that once it was actually raining, he and Kaya decided they should try to walk home after all. They left the shelter of the trees and headed out into the weather they'd been trying to avoid in the first place.
We started walking and I figured she's right behind me. I just saw her get up and start walking this way with me. Then we get over there and I turned behind me and I just...
So why would she not be walking with you anymore? What happened?
I don't know. I don't think I did anything to upset her or make her...
You don't want to cook for me. Stop lying to me.
I never really noticed.
If you wanted to cook for me, we'll find a way.
She's a 10-year-old girl. She gets angry over stupid little things.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm being really loud right now because I can. Okay, I've made such a mess making this. Let me show you.
Hey guys, did you know some drivers are ditching their car insurance and they're doing this instead? Now the reason why you may be overpaying for car insurance is because...
Hey, I'm Gabriel Mott, and I'm here to talk to you about something incredibly important. My favorite brand new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. You see, I'm a bit of a puzzle enthusiast. I can solve everything from pesky cubes to impossibly impossible crosswords to this humongous castle thing. Royal Kingdom is not just a puzzle game, it's a whole new level of challenge. Yes! Oh, and there never any ends, which means unlimited fun. I'm already about to beat level 759, and if that sounds like a ridiculously high level to you, well, that's because it is. Watch this. Boom! I really like that lamp anyway. That's
puzzle fit like myself, or just looking for some fun, why don't you do us both a favor and download Royal Kingdom today? You can even play in the dark.
And I even got it on my iPad too, like,
So, I honestly could have done something that made her mad and not even known it.
Were you in an area where she may have slipped and fallen down into a ditch or something like that? Is that how you may have lost her?
After I got here, I realized she wasn't behind me. I immediately went back this way and I went back like this way. So then I went back into the trail, went back through this trail and then went into this neighborhood and just started searching around.
Were you calling out her name?
I did a few times, not straight up yelling every couple of seconds, but when I got to the beginning of the street, it looked like a big street with dark places, or when I would see kind of an open kind of area, I would just yell.
So when you mean yell,
Gourmet meals.
Screaming for her?
It wasn't super loud, but I was yelling at it to where somebody
could hear it?
Somebody could hear it.
Yeah, I wish she was too.
Did you ever think of maybe just knocking on
I'll be
people's
so happy
doors
when I
to
find
tell
me somebody
them,
who.
little sister?
I'll be so happy when I can find me a man. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of this shit. This shit getting boring. I want somebody to give me hugs and kisses and love. That's what I want. Oh, that's what I want. That's what I need. But he say he's just a friend. But he said he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. And he says he's just a friend. He said he's just a friend. Oh, yeah. Sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, it depends on what's going on, what's being said, what's the conversation, what has happened, what has transpired. It all depends, but I am mean though. I'm not mean to somebody. You ain't doing no stupid shit, we fine. Now if you get to acting like you fucking stupid, or you don't comprehend, or you acting like you ain't got no common sense and shit, then I'm be mad. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be mad. No, man. I ain't gonna lie. I have been in relationships with niggas who, well, it was bad. It was bad, gang. Just seen one of my exes the other day. He just got out. We ain't say shit to each other, but ain't shit to say. You stay away from me, and everything's fine. I don't want to put hands on nobody. I want somebody to lay hands on me, but in a good way.
Is lost.
I was thinking about that, but I had no idea what time it was. The moment I was really confused, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Aiden said he looked for Kaya for roughly 30 to 45 minutes. He claimed to have found no trace of her, and with no other ideas what he should do, started heading for home.
Jacoby, my mom's boyfriend's, had his dad pulled up and started yelling for me. I ran over and got in the car, and then he took me over to the house, and that's when I started talking to the cops and going back over here with them.
While that seemed to be the end of Aiden's story, the police weren't satisfied and kept pushing.
Aiden, help us. Help us. You're not giving us a whole lot of information. We need to try to find her or find out what happened to
And
her.
you're not in any kind of trouble. We need your help to be able to find her so we can help her.
I'm trying to help you.
So it's been
That's all I want. I promise that's all I
8
want.
hours.
I'm tired of loving the wrong person or trying to give attention to the wrong person. I'm tired of this shit. So, until the man who sees me and knows I want to make her my wife, until I meet that man, I guess I'm by myself. Till I meet that man. Mama, where's the man, mama? On stage with a blunt in his hand, mama. Would you have to move to the booth for me? No. Why can't I move where you at? Why can't I move there? Long as I can come down here and see my grandbaby, my mama, and fix on this house down here. Fix on this house on my mama land. Shit, I ain't got to stay in no Louisiana. I'm sick of this shit. Ain't shit to do down here. I want to go to museums. I want to see some art. I want to talk to people who can help me publish my book. I can't do shit down here. Okay, that's Florida. That's still like that far. I've drove through Florida before. I was lost and shit. I got to see. It was nice though. I got to see that water. I went over some bridge that I never went over before. I ain't gonna lie, I had to stay in some rinky-dink ass hotels when I was traveling back to Louisiana. I'm glad it was just only for the night though. I moved to Florida. I wanna go outside. Hey, yeah, I ain't never been to no beach. I ain't never been to a beach before. I wanna put on a two-piece suit. No, I ain't never been to no beach. Hey, yeah, I like roller coasters. Haven't been on one. Hey, yeah, I like shit like that. I don't wanna go outside. I don't wanna go outside in the rain. It may sound crazy, but I wanna go outside. May sound crazy, but I wanna go.
You guys have homicidal thoughts? Okay, so somebody who told me you had homicidal thoughts.
Oh, that sounds good too. Go get some of that good food.
Well, I'm getting completely accused of trying to do something or something.
I
asked you just the one time if you did something right? Did I ever ask you, or did Executive Martinez ever ask you if you did something?
The past no time we've been talking, you should have sitting here complaining about stuff.
Are you worried for Kaya?
Quite frankly, I'm worried for myself right now.
Why would you be worried about yourself?
Why are you worried for yourself?
Exactly. Why would you be worried about yourself?
I'm in a bad situation. It looks bad as hell. Nobody knows where she is, and everybody thinks I have something to do with it.
Realizing that they were getting nowhere, the detective stepped out to get another map. They planned to start over and have Aiden go over the route he took with Kaya from the beginning. After Aiden came back from a quick bathroom break and was updated on the plan, he clearly was not a fan.
I know.
They're straight up accusing me. Hold on.
Aiden was left alone, and in the midst of his family's panic, appeared to try to get some sleep. He didn't have long to rest, though, because 25 minutes later, the detectives were back with a fresh map and a new interrogation technique.
Do you care about what your mom thinks?
What she thinks about me?
Just in general.
I know how to dread.
I used to, but
not that good. Like I've only dreaded
like worrying about myself.
3 people's heads.
Well,
Like they were already started.
you know,
I just
she's a nervous
reveal
wreck right
stuff. I know you gotta do that.
Yeah,
I know what you gotta use. I know what stuff you gotta use, and I know you gotta have the clips and all that stuff. Don't know how to braid. Still practicing on my head. I can't braid. Gang. Like I can show you now that I can't braid. Like we can part this. It's not. It's gonna be on your head. It ain't gonna be tight. Say it like that. I still gotta practice.
Like, you know, I'm gonna put all my.
You trying to get me to do hair and all kind of shit, huh? Oh, you just even started off. I can do that. You want some dreads? You a dreadhead?
Working for me.
So it probably wouldn't bother you if we found her or not?
No, it would bother me, but it's not like say for somebody that's closer to her, it's gonna be a lot harder.
Well, I want you to know, we've already had officers all throughout that area. With dogs. You know how dogs work, right? I mean, they're gonna be able to pick up her scent a lot quicker.
That was the crux of the issue police were having. The dogs weren't consistently picking up Kaya's scent along the route Aiden traced. There were only 2 explanations. Either every single one of the dogs was having an off day, or Aiden wasn't telling the truth. A possibility that was far more likely.
Without our work.
This nigga trying to get me to do hair already. First thing y'all niggas ask for. Do you know how to do hair? I've got a Chevy. I want me a new Chevy. I want me a Chevy truck. Give me a 2 cab. A 4, a 2. What is shit called? You cut them off a few years ago. Oh Lord, not the Rasta locks. Oh my God. I bet you look better with your hair cut off. I wish I knew what you look like.
Most people are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowners.
I wish I do.
Something else the police discovered undercut Aiden's story even further.
What happened?
There's an officer that went to the Walgreens. You know they have cameras, right? They checked the cameras. They didn't see you go into the store.
I went in. Hey, I'm not sure what I have to do for you guys to prove that you guys can kitchen check other times or.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, They checked from 5 o'clock this evening, which we know that you hadn't left yet, all the way up until 11 o'clock tonight. And they didn't see you and Kaya go into the store.
Please note that the detective is talking about the second Walgreens that Aiden and Kaya tried to go to. Where they'd actually gone instead still wasn't clear, since Aiden wasn't talking. However,
I told you my real age. Are you serious? You can't be serious, bro. I'm 39. Yeah, like I'm a kid or something.
There that you guys have.
My IG. Let's see. Let's go to IG right quick. Is Manifest Chariot Tarot. Let's see. Can I couldn't stop running. Yes, I'm 39, folks. I'm 39. Just turned 39. I'll be 40 next year. Okay, gonna end the poll. 60% rain. I'd rather be in rain all day. Y'all would rather it rain all the time instead of sun? Fuck that. Hell no. Rain called floods. It's Manifest Chariot. Let's see. Yeah, Manifest Chariot Tarot. $1986. 1986. 1986. 1980. Show it to you, the IG. Let's see, how can we do this? How you put a picture up there? There you go. Manifest Chariot Tarot with the lady at the card table with the tarot card. Right? Okay, back to that.
She's obviously somewhere she doesn't want to be.
What do you think Kaya's thinking right now?
Back to life.
Wherever she is, she's probably scared.
Back to reality.
Why would she be scared?
She's not with her family. She's out there.
She dead, nigga.
She's obviously somewhere she doesn't want to be.
For her to be as close behind you as you had told us, what do you think she would have done?
Bro.
She would start yelling for me or something.
You got it.
Learn the hockey reason.
Back to life. Back to reality. Whatever you want it, whatever you need, however you want it, however you need it, however you want it, however you need it. Yep, as long as you sing for me, you gonna sing for me. I ain't got nothing I can dip with a sauce. I ain't got nothing but some hot sauce. Nothing but some hot sauce, sauce, baby. Nothing but some hot sauce. And put some hot sauce on my nuggets, baby. It sure tastes good to me. Ooh, put some hot sauce on my... You like blood? What? Put some hot sauce on my nuggets, baby. Sure tastes good to me. Put some hot sauce on my nuggets, baby. Oh, I know what I should have did. I should have cut up these nuggets and put them in a salad. I should have put these in a salad. What, is there something wrong with a big guy now? Hell no! I like teddy bears. I don't want no skinny ass nigga. Once you hurting me and shit. I had skinny niggas. I don't like skinny niggas. No more. I don't like this. Nope. Do you have disposable
Police obtained
gloves,
consent
plastic
from both
gloves,
Aiden
gloves,
and
and
Katie to
gloves,
collect
surgery?
Aiden's clothes for testing, along with fingernail
Yeah, I
scrapings
got
and
gloves.
bubble
Why?
swabs.
You gonna pay me? However do you want it? However do you need it?
Make sure there's no blood.
You like gloves. That's a new one.
Why do they think it was me so much? I don't really think they necessarily think it's you. It's just you were the last person to feel at first, so they have to rule you out.
They also arranged for Aiden to take a polygraph exam since the detectives were convinced that he knew more than he was letting on. Nobody could have anticipated the sheer amount of information he was holding back.
When he talked to the other guys, they wouldn't listen to him. And all they wanted to do was accuse him and not listen. And he just wants to talk to somebody who will actually listen to him rather than just accuse him of things.
Alright, well Aiden,
So-
I am your girl, because I'm a really good listener, and I'm not here to accuse you of anything. Actually, the CBI is not even really involved in the investigation, and we were just asked to come here today just to do the polygraph.
How many questions do you even want to ask me?
Well, we'll talk about that. There's obviously we're gonna have to go through the day and what happened and that kind of stuff, but I promise I'm not gonna judge you about it.
Before beginning the conversation that would lead to the polygraph, Aiden was advised of his Miranda rights in his mother's presence, since he was a minor. He wasn't being charged and was free to leave, but the examiner wanted to exercise an abundance of caution. Since Aiden and his mother were both present when Miranda rights were read, this interview would certainly be admissible in court.
At any point today, if you do not want to take this polygraph, you are more than welcome to leave the room and walk out and not take the polygraph. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your mom
Why
understand
you
that?
delete? What you?
Before we even start the polygraph, can I get a time after the polygraph that we're leaving?
I don't know the time, because it just depends.
Because I honestly don't want to keep doing stuff if I'm just going to be here still all day.
Yeah.
I've been here since like 3 a.m.
The problem is there's no time limit on this, and I can't put a time limit on it because it kind of depends on how much you
What
talk.
I mean is like, do I have to leave after? Do I get to leave afterwards? Or do I have to? Can we find out if I can leave afterwards?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that as soon as I'm done, and I'll tell you what the results are, and the detectives will come in here and just kind of follow up with you.
The polygraph needed to be conducted in private, so Katie stepped out. Before launching right into the test, however, the examiner needed to get some background on the case and made an effort to get to know Aiden too.
So how is it going? Tell me how you're feeling.
Pissed.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I've just been here all day. People that I've been having to talk to have been lying to me all day, so.
Yeah, what are they lying about?
Telling me I need to, like, after we get all this done, think you're free to go for a little bit, you can have some time for yourself, and then we finish it, then we don't, then they don't let me go.
The most expeditious way to get Aiden out of the police station as he wanted was to complete the test. And so, the examiner got down to business.
Custom Spray 5-in-1, only from Rust-Oleum. Welcome to the dawn of a new spray.
Don't make the mistake of calling the wrong lawyer. Call the right lawyer first.
Paul Rice and Kennedy.
To be invested is to believe in better. From saving for today to building wealth for tomorrow, we make investing easy for people, small businesses, and anyone who's ever said, I think.
$3.99 for the best chicken sandwich in the world. $4.99 for the best fish sandwich in the universe. Oh yeah, and bam, your drink is free today. Get it fresher, get it faster at Fish and Chick, across from Walmart on Louisville Avenue.
So I have to ask you a couple of these questions, and this just lets me know if you're suitable or able to take the polygraph.
The examiner asked Aiden multiple questions about his physical health, but it was when the topic of his mental health came up that something stood out.
Do you know if you've ever been a patient like in a mental hospital?
I've gone to Jefferson before.
Is that a mental hospital?
Like, they do like mental evaluation plans on you. You have to do like group therapies and stuff.
Right.
Okay. What did they ever told you that you have, or have you been diagnosed with anything?
ADHD, major depression, major emotional disorders, anger.
What kind of stuff has happened that makes you angry when you think about it?
Life's been pretty bad.
Life's been pretty bad? Sorry about that.
Crazy. There's been too much. I've just been having to deal with too much.
Sorry about that.
4 years I've been in constant therapy and constantly therapy and in-home therapy and constantly going to all kinds of different meetings, constantly dealing with all kinds of stress at home, just constantly dealing with stuff I don't ever just get a break.
Despite all of this, Aiden told the polygraph examiner that his anger issues had greatly improved recently. However, this wasn't necessarily true. Records police obtained from social services indicated that in addition to the diagnoses Aiden shared, he had a history of aggression and violent outbursts. The social worker assisting the police said that she was shocked that Aiden was allowed to be unsupervised with 10-year-old Kaya.
So why did the anger thing stop? What made that better?
I don't know, it just started getting better. I couldn't explain it to anybody. I don't know, like, I just usually I don't freak out like I used to. I would get angry before I like break stuff, but now I'll just get angry, I'll walk off and sit by myself.
So you know how to control it now? Good.
That was about to be called into major question.
Do you take medication for that stuff?
I never wanted to take it.
Okay. So when was the last time you think you took that medication?
Like 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. How do you feel that you're off of it?
I don't really feel anything anymore.
Aiden admitted to using alcohol and marijuana within the past couple of days. However, he did not believe himself to be under the influence any longer. Additionally, he revealed that he and his twin brother had recently spent some time at a social services facility after his mother, Katie, called the police on him.
And what did she call for the police for?
He kicked over a bag of trash and I said, I was mad at her or something, and I said, like, something like, that's why I don't disrespect your boyfriend's family or something like that.
That's what you said?
Yeah, something like that, and so she called the cops and said that I was being rude, loud, disrespectful, and trying to blackmail her.
In preparation for the test, the examiner asked Aiden to tell her the whole story of Kaya's disappearance, starting from the beginning. He wasn't enthused.
Can we do the test without telling me everyone to tell the story?
No, unfortunately we can't, because that's the. I need to make sure that I'm asking the right questions on the test. When I ask you the questions, your body will tell me what the truth is. So, okay? So it's easy. Just sit in here and tell the truth, and it's not a big deal, okay? Like I said, even if it's different than what you said before, or maybe there's little details that, oh, I remember now, that is totally fine. You do not look like a liar. You just need to tell me what the truth is.
Despite his lack of enthusiasm, Aiden spent nearly an hour rehashing the exact same story of Kaya's disappearance. Once he finished, he requested a bathroom break, and the examiner took the opportunity to confer with the other investigators. And it was a good thing she did, because there had just been a massive break in the case, and it changed everything. Meanwhile, Aiden returned from the bathroom and waited in the room alone. Though he didn't yet know what the police just found, he abruptly decided he needed to correct part of his story. He went out into the hall to flag down a detective.
There's something I think I could just probably tell you before it gets too far, and this is, I realized I probably tell you was, like, I didn't, when me and her split up, I didn't lose her, I intentionally left her. Because she was really annoying me. And I intentionally left her at Conoco. Because I figured she would be able to.
Okay, just hang on just quick, okay?
The police have been pushing Aiden for the truth for 12 hours now. The detective asked Aiden to go back into the room and wait for the polygraph examiner to return.
I want some
The longer
points,
Aiden
babe.
waited,
I love points.
the more nervous he appeared.
I think she's
You might be hungry.
talking with somebody right now.
I want some real food now.
About 15 minutes later, he couldn't take the wait anymore.
I can't do this. I need to go to sleep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you sit down so that way you don't fall over.
Aiden complied and returned to his seat. Not 2 minutes later, the examiner returned to update Aiden. At this point, though, the police likely suspected he already knew what they were going to tell him.
Hey, good buddy. How you doing? You wanna look up and talk to me for a minute? You can talk to me just for a minute. We're not gonna do the test, okay? What? Okay. Go wake up for me. Come walk over here with me real quick, okay?
The examiner escorted Aiden to a different room now that the polygraph equipment wasn't needed.
Are you okay in here? Hey, everybody, I need you to look up for me, okay? Big breath out with me for a minute, okay? Listen, we're not gonna do the test today, because you and I both know you weren't gonna pass, okay? Okay? We just found Kaya's body.
What?
Tragically, during Aiden's interrogation, police received this 911 call from a man who had been out for a walk with his family and stumbled upon something heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think the little girl that's missing in Thornton, I think my wife and I and our kids just found her.
Okay, are you in contact with her?
No, I unfortunately, I think that she's...
Okay, hold on 1 second. Where exactly is she at?
She's face down in kind of a ditch area and a bunch of shrubs, and her underwear is taken off, and it looks like her clothes, or a lot of her clothes are off as well.
Police and medics rushed to the scene. The man who called 911 was waiting for them and took the first responders directly to the body. It didn't take long to determine that it was Kaya, or that she was deceased. As the caller noted, Kaya's body was face down in a creek, and her disarrayed clothing made police fear that she'd been sexually assaulted. DNA swabs would be taken to see if any of her killer's DNA could be recovered. The location of where she was found also raised even more questions. Back at the police station, the polygraph examiner tried to convince Aiden to finally explain what happened. However, his emotional reaction made that nearly impossible.
Aiden, it's over, okay? And listen, you have had a horrible, horrible time in your life, okay? And I totally respect that you're sitting here today and you're talking to me. But we need to know, Aiden, look at me. We need to know what happened, okay? Because everything has an explanation.
Wait, are you guys accusing me?
Aiden.
What's happening then?
Aiden. Aiden, listen to me.
What's happening?
Aiden.
I
Listen, this is a question I need to know.
Can you guys explain what did you find?
Stop for a minute, okay? Look at me. This is the biggest question I need to know, okay? This is the biggest question I need to know. Do you feel bad about what happened?
She's dead. She's dead.
Aiden,
She's
tell
dead.
me. Tell me.
Is she dead?
She's dead.
What?
Aiden.
Ow.
Let me help you work through this.
Aiden certainly sounded distraught, but only time would tell if his tears were genuine.
Please explain to us what happened. Please explain to us.
What's happening then?
What's happening, nigga?
Listen to me. This is what I think. I think maybe there was some, you haven't been on your medication for a while and not feeling yourself.
You think I did something to her?
Aiden, I want to know what happened.
I didn't do anything nice to her.
Can you listen to me? We have surveillance video of you guys walking down the road, okay? We have video of just you walking back. So we know that there was a time you were together, and shortly after there was a time when you weren't with her anymore.
Too strong.
There, perfectly balanced.
Hey guys, did you know some drivers are ditching their car insurance and they're doing this instead? Now the reason why you may be overpaying for car insurance is because a big chunk of your monthly payment isn't even for. A friend showed me this cool little website that changes this around completely. You can find liability for as low as 20.
I never have to leave that guy. I left her on purpose. Because she was a...
So you left your sister on purpose and she ended up dead. You left your stepsister on purpose. Your half sister, that was his stepsister. That was his mama, boyfriend, daughter. You left her and she ended up in a ditch. But you ain't do nothing. But you didn't do nothing. But you not do nothing, 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 nothing.